Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Transformers Age of the Primes, the 13 Alchemist Prime, and this transforms in 17 steps. He is an Autobot, more than meets the eyes. Is he an Autobot? I'm not sure. Does it really matter? Probably not, because he's a Prime, so they get their own little Sigma up there. The Age of the Prime side that we've seen many times before, and then a picture of him on the back. Looking small and bulky, and he can join his weapons. Interesting. And yeah, they look like little daggers, I guess. So anyway, no idea where this Prime's from. Is he made up just specifically for this line, or does he originate from something? Let me know, because I have no idea. Let's get him out of his packaging and have a closer look. So here is Alchemist out of his packaging. I'll tell you who he reminds me of. Return to Oz, the General, the little dude that just spins around, needs winding up. That's what this character's look reminds me of. So I've put the weapons in this position where it looks like he's perhaps firing some sort of matrix beam. I don't know, but you can, if you want, you can do that, and you just simply disconnect it quite nicely. And what looks like two sort of little blades, you can either have it like this in his hands, which doesn't look too bad, or if you want, you can put on the sides. So you can either, so don't drop it, put on the sides like that, or you can turn it like that, and he is blasting at, I don't know, Decepticons. I don't know if the Age of the Primes, the 13, whether they had Decepticons to fight, to keep order. Were some of them beyond that? Did they have minions that they just used to send in and say, hey, you go sort this out? We don't, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like we don't know any of that stuff. So, yeah, this could have, I feel like this could be a character that you could easily overlook. But I think he looks pretty cool. This is what I mean by that sort of, that look. He's got that sort of overall sort of moustache, goggles sort of look. I think he looks pretty cool. I feel like he's a pretty strong little bot. You know, he reminds me of sort of Brawn. That's the sort of feel I get from this bulky little fella. So articulation wise, his head's not really going anywhere, but he does have some nice articulation in there. Arm can go all the way around. You can lift up like so. Spin some more. Nice single on the arm joint was normal, no movement on the hand. You can go all the way around in terms of the legs. You can lift up and kick forward. You can kick back. You can spin like so. And you have that single up there. Lefty, righty, and well, that's pretty much it. But I think that in terms of getting us into some really cool poses, I think that is more than enough for you to be able to get him into some poses. If I can get him to stand straight. So yeah, I really like this guy, but I have no connection with him as a character. That is my problem with this. This is my problem with the Age of the Primes line. I'm quite pleased with how they're doing it, how they're rolling out, how they are giving us widely combiners and things like that. I think are working tremendously well. But when they do things like this, I think, what is the reasoning behind this? Is it just to grasp that new young audience out there, or is it just simply to get some of us crazy people to buy this? Yeah, I think it's sort of hit and miss. Let me know if you're buying this for any other reason than, well, it's there, so I'm buying it, because pretty much that's what I've pretty much done in a nutshell. So without ado, let's transform Alchemist and have a look at that Alt mode. Sorry, just one thing before I transform him. You can add the little connectors up there. I feel like that makes him like a mini Optimus Prime. Yeah, I just thought it was cool. So if you don't want him fighting, etc., they can just drop on there, which I think looks pretty darn neat in my opinion. And then just one more close look. That is a gorgeous little head sculpt. I like that head sculpt. Very, very interesting. He just needs a paintbrush, right? There we go. The transformation's pretty sweet. I think it's probably more user area. For some reason, I just couldn't get this to all connect. I did in the end. I think it was, like I said, user area more user error more than anything. And these hands, for some reason, they just want to pop out like so, which is a little bit annoying. I think they're meant to be a bit more flush in there. I don't know what that's about. So it leaves us sort of this little gap at the back. But looking at it, I think it looks very, very nice. It's got some nice detail on there, in particular at the front, which is probably what you're going to pay attention. I don't even mind the weapons on there because, like I said, this is based on a Cybertronian vehicle. But why a Cybertronian vehicle would have wheels, I do not know. But who knows that? Only the Primes know that. Got a nice screen there in case it had a partner or anything like that. But yeah, I think they've done a really good job. Rolls quite nicely. Very, very nice and simple. I like the green as well. I think it adds to that sort of that armor sort of view. So anyway, there is my video. If you like my video, do please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed to my channel already. Make sure you look after yourself, very important these days. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.